Many thanks again for rejoining us on the part 2 of our package today on Road to Edo 2024 on independent television. Our second guest on the program is here. It's Dr. Ehizojie Imafidon Ohiowele. There's so much to learn and talk about him. That's the essence of this program. In the next 30 minutes or so, you'll be able to have some insights about him and his vision, his mission for Edo State, and help to galvanize your decision-making process, particularly if you're a delegate. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Ehizojie Ohiowele, for coming on the program. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for. All right, let's quickly just have insight into the LP governorship candidate, right? Yeah. Many thanks for joining us on the program. Dr. Ehizojie Imafidon Ohiowele, JP KSJI, was born on the 2nd of February 1977 in Benin City, Edo State. He hails from Isidahome quarters, Egwari Ekboma, in Eastern West local government area. He's a serial entrepreneur, educator, personal coach, financial expert, and experienced banker with over 25 years of solid experience in the private and public sector of the Nigerian and African economy. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics and Statistics, a Master's degree in Business Administration, a Master's degree in Economics and Finance, and a PhD in International Business. He is a proud alumnus of Harvard Business School, University of Oxford, Cardiff University, University of Azteca, University of Benin, and Ambrose Ali University, AAU Ekboma. Presently, he runs a fintech company he co-founded, which is duly licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. He is a recipient of several awards on leadership and management, including a nomination for the prestigious Archbishop Tutu Fellowship for Leadership in conjunction with the African Leadership Institute. He is an honorary senior member of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria and a fellow of the Institute of Management and Consultants, Nigeria. He is also a recipient of an honorary doctorate degree in business administration, specializing in banking and finance from the London Graduate School, Commonwealth University, England, UK, for his achievements. And I'd like to welcome Dr. Ehizojie Imafidon Ohiowele, LP Governorship Aspirant, Edo 2024, to Road to Edo 2024. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we had a very, elaborate profile on you just a few minutes back. Before that discussion, we really apologize to our esteemed viewers. Share with us, with all that you have done, why is there this passion in you to contest for Edo State Governor, the governorship election in 2024? What is the motivation? What's the inspiration behind it?
I'm a patriotic Nigerian, and I believe that for too long our country has been bedeviled with bad leadership. I believe I have the competence, the capacity, and the solution to unlock the potentials we have in this country, and by extension that we have in this state. So I want to do my own part in contributing to nation building. The alternative is to sit at home, complain, join others to scream, cry, and say this government is not working, and so on and so forth. But I choose this path because I believe it's the path to do the honorable thing, to take our state to the next level.
What are you bringing to the table? I mean, to change the narratives. I mean, we're talking about infrastructure, whether at rural level or state level. We're talking about the economy. We're talking about health infrastructure. We're talking about education. What are you doing? What are you planning to do differently?
So I'm joining this race with over 25 years of global African experience. In my experience, I've done a lot of complex transactions that have prepared me to face the challenges that Edo State has today. I'm coming in with my passion, my innovative mindset, my creativity, and a fresh perspective. I'm not shackled to any, I'm a new politician, so I'm not shackled to any traditional thing. I'm coming in fresh, and I have the solution to unlock the problems we have in this state.
What are those problems, and what is your model in terms of solution provision to tackle these problems?
So in terms of my vision, I envision a state where there's economic prosperity, where there's social justice, where there's good governance, where there's sustainable development. And to run all of this, the pillars I'm looking at is inclusion, innovation, and transparency and accountability. Edo State has serious problems. A few days ago, the World Bank released a report that 104 million Nigerians are now classed as poor. By extension, Edo State poverty index is about 46%. So almost half of our population in Edo State are poor. What we need to be preaching right now is economic prosperity. How do we lift people out of poverty? Infrastructure and all of that is good. It's a given. That's the purpose of government. For too long, people have campaigned with those things. We will do the roads, we will we'll build hospitals, education, and all of that. But I don't think that is enough. We need to talk about revitalizing the economy. And that's where I come in. With my many years of economic and finance experience, I'm going to find the solutions and fix the issues we have.
You're not a politician per se. Like you said, you're new. You're a new politician. So how do you intend to deal with the issue of party primaries against the background that the traditional politicians have a certain way of thinking, of acting, of behaving, which for some people it's usually not normal? How do you intend to deal with that?
So first things first, I'm running under the platform of the Labour Party. And you see that ideology of the traditional way of doing things has been disrupted. That's not the ideology in the Labour Party. The Labour Party gives everyone a level playing field, whether you're an old politician or a new politician. It will surprise you to also note that most of the aspirants running right now are also new politicians. We all want to make a difference. We want to make an impact. So in terms of disrupting what is used to be the traditional way, I don't think that will be a problem at all, at all. It's not going to be a problem.
Aspiring for Edo 2024 has sort of become commonplace with more and more people coming in. Is this healthy for democracy? And in line with that, what are your chances?
It's very healthy for democracy. Never in the history of our democracy in Nigeria and in this state have you seen so many aspirants running for the top job. It tells you one thing. More and more people in the private sector who have a lot to contribute to nation building are now coming out of the woodworks, are now standing up to be counted because they believe, look, there's a chance. We can also do and make a difference. In terms of what my chances are 100%. Labour Party is looking for a governor who is credible, a governorship candidate who is credible, who has the capacity to deliver, who is ethical, who is competent, who has a very good character, a strong track record, and who is youthful. 70% of our population in Edo State today are youths. The party wants a youthful governor as well, so they can connect better with these youths. So with all of that, which I think I tick the boxes, I believe my chances are very, very high.
As a global economist, one of the most precarious challenges that nations are facing right now, even subnational government, is the issue of revenue. What is your model in improving the revenue profile of Edo State? Could you give us perspectives on the current revenue profile and how you intend to grow it so you can have enough resources to drive your dreams and vision?
Thank you very much. That's a very important question. For me to grow the revenue here, it's all data and technology. That's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to train the people who are doing this revenue service. At the federal level, there's a new solution called data for tax that they're using to drive increased revenue. At the state level, I'm going to copy that model and adapt it to our environment. We need to gather more data. We need to bring more people into our tax net. We need to use more technology. If you see the budget of the 2024 budget, the Edo State 2024 budget, you realize that there's been a significant jump in the projected internally generated revenue. And I believe the current governor has those plans as well to use technology to drive IGR. I would take it a notch higher, not just using technology, also fixing the people and getting infrastructure right to get it. And when I say infrastructure, I mean revenue services infrastructure. So all of that will help us drive it.
One of the major components of sustainable development talks about access to health, quality health, particularly at the primary level. Over the years, there have been consistent talks about the inefficient system of our primary healthcare system. Do you have data and statistics on these? Because you talked about using data and statistics to drive some of the projects that you have or the vision that you have? If you do, can you share with us? If you don't, how do you intend to revamp the health sector so that affordable health will be at the doorstep of every Edo person?
If we're running things well, like a developed country, this data you're asking for will be commonplace. Unfortunately, it's not commonplace today. If you ask people how many health centers are functional in Edo State today, they'll tell you they don't know. People do not really know how many doctors do we have, how many nurses do we have. We are not sure. If you ask me, I will ensure that every ward has a primary health center at least, at the very minimum. Then in terms of staffing, I'll make sure every place has doctors, they have nurses, they have the right equipment, they have the right infrastructure. Because a state, wellness is very, very important for economic growth. And for me to drive that growth, I have to make sure my people are well. Not only well, they have access to these health centers. It is affordable as well.
Let's talk about politics. In our climes, there's this seeming subdivision between the traditional politicians and then, of course, the technocrats, if you like. The traditional politicians, they sort of have, a stronghold on the political structure, as it were. How do you intend to bridge this gap for someone like you who is coming from both the business and the economic environment?
I think it all comes down to personality and interpersonal skills. That's what it is. It's all negotiations and all of that. I've negotiated with countries. I've negotiated with state governments. So I don't think that should be a challenge at all. It comes down to your interpersonal skills, how you speak to people, how you negotiate, what you have to offer, what value they have to offer, and so on and so forth. I don't see that as a hindrance at all. I've been very successful in the private sector, and I believe I can transfer that skill to the public sector and get good results as well.
Now let's quickly look at governance in Edo State. What are those things that you would say easily that they've not been properly done that you want to better if you have the opportunity to govern Edo State? I mean, what's that model that you're bringing to make Edo State greater than what it is today?
Okay, so the obvious answer will be, the infrastructure of the state is broken. Infrastructure is the roads, the education system needs revamping, the health sector needs revitalization and all of that. That's the obvious answer. That is a given. In my opinion, that is the function of government. That's why government exists. What I'm going to do differently is economic prosperity. I'm going to ensure that I empower people so that everybody can contribute, everyone can thrive, everyone can push to make sure this state grows. Edo State contributes about 2.2% only to the GDP of Nigeria. That's not good enough. Edo State is a transit state. We are well positioned between the north. We have an access point to the north, the south, and the east. We have arable land. We have good resources here. We have very intelligent people. That shouldn't be the case. We need to drive economic growth in this state. We need to do things differently. We need to harness the power of our youths. We need to drive them. We need to train them. We need to guide them.
You've talked about how you intend to drive infrastructural development without really specifying how. That looks like in a general sense. For example, the Benin Ekpoma Auchi Abuja Road is unmalterable. The Benin Sapele Road is unmalterable. Benin Agbo Road is a no-go area. We have all of these roads, right? So what's your vision along those lines?
Of course, we have to fix those roads. It's no-brainer. Those roads are what connects the communities that make up our state. Those roads are the roads where people, travelers go through. Those roads are the roads where our food and all of that passes through. Trade and all of that is hampered.
Well, these are federal roads.
Yes. No. So you see, when you say federal roads, state roads, I always say, yes, on the Constitution, it's federal road, state road. But as a responsible governor, I will not sit down and put signposts all over the place. This is a federal road, please bear with me. No, that is, in my opinion, this is my opinion, it's wrong. So you want the people in those communities to bear with you because it's federal road. No, I'll find a way to do palliative road works. I'll find a way to make sure it happens. Now, the reason why you have that dichotomy and why they always have a challenge is no money. Edo State does not have the finance to drive all of this. Again, that's why I come in with my experience. We've raised money for governments before. That will be a no-brainer for me. I'll be able to put together funds that will drive it. It will surprise you to note that the total diasporan funds that comes into Nigeria every year is about $25 billion. Of that, Edo State's contribution to that pot is $6 billion. What that tells me is that our diasporans, our Edo citizens in diaspora, have a lot to contribute. We'll do a diasporan bond. We'll raise money through a diasporan bond. We'll raise money through infrastructure bonds. We'll expand the PPP that the state government is running right now. That's the public-private partnerships. We'll look for impact funds too, because again, the whole world is talking about climate change and environmental sustainability. Edo State has a lot of unutilized land. We will monetize it. We will either sell it or we'll lease it. But one way or another, we're going to raise funds.
So you're going to sell Edo lands. That's what you're saying.
I said either sell it or lease it. It depends. It depends on, I mean, if it's land that is good for tourism, it's tourist attraction and all that, of course we're not going to sell it. If it's land that we think, yeah, we can lease or we can sell. I mean, there will be needs assessment and all of that. I can't tell you from the top of my head. I don't have a list of the land we have, but I know Edo State government has a lot of land assets that we can unlock, that we can monetize to ensure we have enough funds to run the government.
Okay. In the build up to the 2024 election, we've had conversations around there should be a power shift from Edo South to Edo Central. There are others who feel should be from Edo South to Edo North. For the purpose of equity, fairness, and justice, what's your take on this?
So I'm a leader. I'm a visionary and transformational leader. And one of the first things a leader must do is unity and unify. So I'm not going to say there should be an Esan agenda. I believe in an Edo agenda because I'm going to rule for everyone. I'm going to govern the entire state, the Afemais, the Esakos, the Esan, and the Benis. So I'm not for Esan agenda. Nonetheless, this flip side of the coin is we've had successive governments in the last almost 24 years of the Fourth Republic where an Esan man has not exactly been at the helm of affairs. For fairness, equity, and justice, is it okay for an Esan man to take it? I would say yes. It's not bad. If you look at Akwa Ibom State, they have 3 senatorial districts, just like we do. And if you look at it, their governors, they rotate, they go. It's not constitutional, but there's just an internal agreement. I can tell you that the NEJs of Edo Central have gone to see the Oba of Benin and other well-meaning people to ask that we would like one of our sons to be there. But if you ask me, I'll tell you, look, there are 2 sides to the story. But I'm all for Edo agenda. I want to drive Edo agenda and make sure there's development to all parts of Edo State.
Fantastic. More of the things we heard about you centers around some of the things you've done outside the shores of this country. What are those tangible, feelable, touchable things you've been able to put on the ground that shows your bonding with your people, that will elicit the kind of support that you want from them if you have the nomination from your party?
Okay, so I have a very, very close relationship with my people, especially at the grassroots level. I was born in this state. I grew up in this state. Even though I left this state for commercial reasons, to look for more opportunities, which in my opinion, when I become governor, we are going to reverse. We reverse that. The opportunities will be here. I never, the bond between myself, my community has always remained strong. I have never broken that bond. I speak to them regularly. I visit regularly. They visit me. I run skills acquisition programs. I run different programs to make sure that there's capacity building at that level. And trust me, the people are ready for me. They want me. They love me. They like the ideas I have on the table. And they just can't wait to deliver me at our primaries.
Politics in Nigeria is money, and money is politics. What's your take on this, and how do you think you can survive under this matrix of politics and governance, as it were?
Just point of correction. Politics anywhere is money. It's not a Nigerian thing. For you to run politics, you must have money. Before joining the fray, of course I thought about it from end to end. And if the money wasn't there, there was no way I was going to join. Of course the money is there.
So you have the money to buy all the delegates?
I'm sorry, not buy.
Okay.
We don't buy delegates. We present to delegates. We present our plans to delegates. This is Labour Party. Labour Party is not like the other parties. The things you hear about the other parties is not what we do in Labour Party. We don't buy delegates. We make our presentations to delegates. We sell ourselves to delegates. Then they decide amongst themselves who they think is best to represent the party.
So if you lose at the primaries, would you accept whoever emerges?
But of course, I'm first of all a party man. I'm a proud member, proud card-carrying member of Labour Party. The party is sacrosanct. What they decide is sacrosanct.
So if you lose, you accept?
I will join whoever wins, and we'll find a way to make Edo State better. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about the state. It's about bringing prosperity to the state. It's about making Edo State a shining example, a light. Edo State is what? The heartbeat of the nation. Whatever we do here reverberates across the nation. I want to be part of the team, preferably lead the team that will change the narrative of Edo State.
Let's quickly just cap it up with your model for sports development in Edo State, except you're satisfied with the status quo.
Oh, sports is very, very important. Sports brings a lot of unity amongst people. Sports transcends ethnicity, religion, and all of that. So definitely, whatever is on ground now, we'll push it a notch further. We'll develop sports outside football. Football is one of the sports, one of the games everyone loves. But outside of football, there are other sports that we can begin to take part in and see how, going for the university games, the state games, and all of that. We'll find different ways where we can carve a niche and get our people to, to join in, so that we can let Edo State on the map. That's the plan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ehizojie Ohiowele, yes. LP Governorship Aspirant, Edo 2024, for creating the time to be here. We'll have more time, but I'd love to engage you further. But we're going to have more of you here.
Definitely.
To interface with Edo people,
most definitely,
so they can see your perspectives, your vision, and your ideas that you're bringing to the table. Until then, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers.
That's how much we have with Dr. Ehizojie Ohiowele, LP Governorship candidate, aspirant for Edo 2024. We hope to have him here subsequently to talk on some of his visions, his mission for Edo State, as well as the 2024 governorship election is concerned. Remember, Road to Edo 2024 is on every Monday at 5:30, Wednesday 5:30, and then on Friday at 6:30 p.m. All you need to do is to reach out so you can be part of the conversation, so you can connect with the people. I want to say big thanks to everyone that made the program a huge success. My producer, Thomas Sado, thank you very, very much. Behind the camera, Evans Oboy, and of course the presentation director talking about Sonny Ugo Brown on our ICT and social media and new media, Musa David. Thank you very much. The engineering crew, thank you very, very much everyone for making the program a huge success. I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. Thanking you for staying with us. Bye for now.